Hello, everybody. Welcome to the last topic that we're going to be covering regarding homeostasis, negative and positive feedback loops. Okay, so in this video, we will be addressing the following questions. One, what is a feedback loop? And two, what is the difference between positive and negative feedback, and what are the consequences of each? Okay. So I'm going to start first with this diagram right here that you have seen now several times. And what I want to point out about this diagram is that it is what we call a feedback loop. Okay, so what is a feedback loop? So what happens in a feedback loop is that the response becomes the new stimulus, right? So imagine our temperature is too high, we do a bunch of things to bring our temperature back down. That's the response, is our new lower temperature. And then that becomes the next stimulus. So it feeds back on itself, hence the name feedback loop. Okay, we have two types of feedback loops that we're going to be looking at in this video. One is positive feedback loops and two, negative feedback loops. Okay, we're going to start by looking at negative feedback loops. Okay, so in a negative feedback loop, the response is going to counteract the original stimulus. Okay, and this is a homeostatic mechanism. So using the same example that I just used a moment ago, if our temperature goes up, we're going to take a variety of actions to bring our body temperature back down. That is the response counteracting the original stimulus, right? So we have our initial stimulus, response, stimulus gets counteracted, okay? And then once we bring our temperature back down, for example, or whatever it is that we're doing, then this response loop is going to shut off because we have maintained homeostasis, okay? Okay, so one thing that I want to point out here is that all of the examples that we've looked at so far are negative feedback loops, okay? So looking here, remember that we had low blood oxygenation. We took a bunch of actions to bring our blood oxygenation back up. Okay, so again, our response is counteracting our initial stimulus, and we are maintaining homeostasis in doing so. Okay, in this example, our blood pressure went down, we brought it back up to normal in order to maintain homeostasis. Okay, in this example here, the water temperature in the aquarium went down. We turned the heater on to bring that temperature back up. Okay, so again, we counteracted that initial stimulus in order to maintain homeostasis within the system. Okay, I want to point out that negative feedback is not perfect, right? So throughout the day, we are monitoring a whole slew of variables within our bodies, right? And those variables are fluctuating up and down, okay? So we're monitoring, okay? And whenever one of those variables goes out of range, we're going to react by trying to bring that back into range, right? But sometimes we overshoot, right? So in this example, we've gone too low with temperature, we're bringing it back up, and we've overshot and brought our temperature higher than the temperature at which we want it. So we're going to bring it back down. Okay, so this is something that is going on throughout the day for a variety of variables within our bodies, right? So our temperature is going up and down. Sometimes it goes way out of range. Sometimes it comes back. Same thing with osmolarity, various salt concentrations, blood pressure, blood volume, et cetera, et cetera.